Today is February 23rd, 24. A lot of people have scattered again today. Start rambling. That's one thing. They sold the log in the first month. Yeah, how you get rid of the riffraff real quick? When you tell them who's done this is Alex and Michelle's nothing but a fucking stripper. Oh, you'll die laughing with this one. On my Facebook, where on the 21st, where I got my hair done in Walmart, guys are walking by on the phone. She said that girl looks just like that girl that she put her picture up on. If it's not her, she looks just like her. Okay? That one strip club looks just like her. Even Keith seen her, my neighbor. And so if another guy walks by, he's on the phone, he said, even Dixie knew her. Okay? Well, John knew her. Melissa knew her. John's kids called her Auntie Shell. And that's where another guy walked by. Those kids got caught stating they made everything up for that girl to get everything. That's not funny. They did on Thanksgiving of 18. Okay? They also caught, with me calling the FBI and the police working the case, they caught Melissa telling the kids to lie friends with Michelle, the hooker. The fucking stripper. Impersonating a retired judge's daughter. Oh, by the way, Will, at one point, she told people she was your daughter. Okay? And then it went to Pete's daughter. And she's nothing but a fucking hooker. Okay? Yeah, she was telling everybody she was your daughter. 3,000 people at Pete Family Church knew her. Okay? Talked about Pete. The drug cartel impersonating the FBI there. Like I told my neighbor Keith, you know, the guys in the big trucks that said they were FBI working my case. Yeah, I remember. I said those were drug cartel guys. He's like, Karen, that's fucked up. It's like you can get an FBI badge for $25 on Amazon. A fancy wallet for like $35.50 with credentials. He's like, Karen, that's fucked up. I said the only ones working my case was the sheriffs. That agent open road case, the police have been handling it. He's like, my God, those people needed Jesus. I said, I showed him the picture of Michelle. The one that looks like Michelle. He said, where have I seen her before? I've seen her several times. He said at church mocking me. He's like, my God, she needed Jesus. They all did. Okay, we're going to put Michelle, the fucking stripper, fucking hooker, and her fucking brother Alex with the white-haired guy with his hair part on the side, medium gray truck guy? Huh? And the human trafficker selling people? Impersonating retired Judge Pete, and her lying to those people she's either Pete's daughter or Will's daughter? And she could have people drug beat, raped, and she's nothing but a fucking hooker. And, and the drug cartel and her brother's drug beat and raping people and they're scamming people. You lied to 3,000 people. You may want to find Jesus real quick and repent. That's a lot of anger. Faith Family Church has 3,000 members. You lied to 3,000 people. You may want to find Jesus and repent. You get their anger, you may be in a lot of trouble. See, Dixie knew her. That means Josh knew her. She was around my family telling everybody she was retired Judge Pete's daughter, and then she was telling people at Faith Family Church she was Will's daughter, the agent over my case. And then she went to Pete's daughter. And she's nothing but a fucking liar and a fucking hooker, a stripper. Where all the other strippers showed up and the hookers, they went out with us today and Dada mocked me. It's like, ew. It's because they were helping mock me. Because she's nothing but a fucking stripper. She's okay. Don't even want to keep going into this. But it's Alex. That's where even Judge Timothy Ludick on 9/18/19 seen Alex dressed up as retired Judge Pete. It's just a Santa Claus beard and white wig. I told you I was sitting in my room, and outside my room they were joking, well, before we go into the courtroom. Seth Arco walks out, my attorney. And there are a group of them. They're out there. Before he had us look into it, you knew she couldn't handle it. You knew she appreciated us doing it. You can find she did nothing wrong. He walks by like this in a judge's room. And I thought, that looks like the guy that said he bashed my head in. That looks like that one they call Alex. This is the spitting image of him. It was him in a beard. Judge Timothy Luda comes in laughing. We're ready to begin. Well, I thought they were friends joking around. He didn't know why they were there. And they were in a judge's robe just joking around. He was just laughing at the idiots. Like the investigator said, we asked that judge. He didn't know what they were doing. He didn't realize he was impersonating that retired judge. Retired Judge Pete looked 60, 65 in his picture. Little white Santa Claus. Cecily Mullins said he'd been retired a long time. So he put 10, 15 years on him. No 75, 80-year-old is breaking in people's homes, drug beating, raping them. What's he doing? Taking his walker and cane? Knock her down so I can get to her again? Come on. No 75, 80-year-old isn't jumping people. And he wouldn't have an 18-year-old daughter. He'd have an 18-year-old great-granddaughter or granddaughter. The whole scam is so stupid, thinking if they said they were a retired judge, they would be above the law. And it's nothing but a fucking hooker and a brother in a Santa Claus outfit. It's that stupid of a scam. It's Alex, the white-haired guy with his hair part on side. Dixie's seen him several times. John's seen him in Minerva Grinders. I also knew him as Pete, in a Santa Claus beard. Wait till Dixie finds out it's just that white-haired guy with his hair parted on side and the Santa Claus beard, and she's nothing but a fucking hooker, drug scamming people. She'll probably cross her arms and say that figures. Because I said, you knew Michelle? Yeah, I knew Michelle. I said, did you know about retired Judge Pete? And I said, oh, I knew about him. She said, Karen always said it was ridiculous what they did to you. You think? It's not even a retired judge. Like they said, they asked that family. They didn't know nothing about it. No retired judges breaking in people's homes, drugging them up, beating, raping them. About a month ago, I was in Alliance on a Sunday night. My car's bugged. I walk out. I think it was Officer Mark, one of the officers assigned. It's one of my guys. I know his voice. He was over in the dark. He said when the case first started, we found out her ex-husband was keeping her drugged up so bad they were drug beating, raping her, and she didn't realize what was going on. And they said it was some retired judge raping people in the drug cartel. We were to stay out till they got his drug connections. Found out it's just some guy saying he's a retired judge. Sounds. The real Judge Pete would be 75, 80. They tried to frame a Portage County judge. Like they said in Hartville a month ago, these damn bastards that did this to her even tried to frame a Portage County judge. They did. There's a whole scenario that a retired judge would be above the law. No one's above the law. You have to have diplomatic immunity. Yeah. And retired judges have no authority. Can't touch something for a baby girl. See, they were playing that Alex/Pete to get the drug connections. My God, he got a lot of them arrested. See, that agent, Officer Reinhardt Louisville, said he knew Agent well. Said he was a good man. Good men don't badger women. Good men don't make fun of rape victims. Good men don't embezzle from FBI funds. Good men do not let people get away with heinous crimes no matter what. But he knew Will. Please tell me Will is not sitting in the Bahamas with a stripper and my money. The 14th Amendment, you cannot seize property or money without due process of the law. You have to be found guilty and sued for it. You cannot withhold protection from anybody either. 4th Amendment, you cannot be in somebody's house but police and agencies in a protected life case with statements. Because it's the right to privacy over your home. You have a right to remain quiet, a right to an attorney, and a right to a fair court trial, bail, and bond. They can't even ask you to stay quiet. Freedom of speech takes a sitting judge and a sequestered or grand jury. In my unique case, Will admitted on a recorded line that he spoke to everyone before me and told on me before, and witnessed by the police he was doing it. So, we want to play good men don't do that. Like the former CIA agent that I talked to, told her what happened. She said, it's absolutely ridiculous that agent didn't arrest those people for what they did to you and your family, and him take care of you. And it's ridiculous that they got away with it. She's like, I hate FBI agents. They'll sit on cases, let people get away with horrible crimes to get the big drug dealers. They got a fentanyl king. Where we all work for the king from Texas. We are his men. He sent us here. He's a drug lord. He was one of the biggest drug lords that they hired in the U.S. to do this. He was a drug lord from Texas. He's a fentanyl king. Iraqi military translator for the U.S. military. Went into the dark web. Malware. Fentanyl king, one of the largest ones in the U.S. That's who did it. Most people would be outraged at any church bringing human traffickers into their area, having somebody drugged, being raped for any reason. And the thought that they should get away with any crimes being a severe cult. If they were not in a cult, they would not have said a word to me. They would have never had anybody harm me. But they are a cult. Mary Bess had been remarried to Jimmy Dingus. She left Jimmy because Jimmy had moved home with his mom and he was watching porn, all kinds of crazy stuff. She's out working and he's not. So she went to divorce him. They started following around, harassing her. And she was too afraid to even, they would call her at work and threaten her and everything. She was afraid to leave her apartment at times. She comes over to church, she's like, they're crazy. We're down to New Life. Okay. Well, she started dating some of the guys there. Okay. And they backed off. Well, they were mean enough to her, she quit. Well, she got a dream job. She got one of the jobs she wanted with good insurance, made good money. She married a truck driver out of the religion and it has a very good life. They couldn't have that with me. So where they have these idiots following me around, where to make sure nobody wants her. Strange ordered that 19. Strange said to make sure that no man wants her again. He's dead. He's been dead for years. You're listening to a crazed occult leader that hired strippers and human traffickers to drug, beat, and rape somebody because one of his friends didn't want his wife no more and ran a extortion scheme. Like one lady investigator said, that minister better thank God he's dead. Dave's not. He needs to go to jail for this. Even lying to the FBI and defrauding them, and they made fun of him June 7th, 23, how they fooled him. Inside Walmart 62, and then sold videos how they made fun of FBI agent John and fooled him. Huh? Publicly mocked him. I thought, hailstones from heaven, right? SWAT teams, right? And nothing. They dared the FBI to fix it. July 9th, 23 in Trinity Gospel. Sold videos of it. I'm like, SWAT teams, right? Then nothing. They already confessed November 18, 22. It was all them and not me. And then all the drugs and told to say it. And then the shower scene in the other room. And a sextortion act. My one friend, his boss, is a real judge in Ohio. His mommy's a judge. A sitting judge with a robe and everything. You wanted to play you want to play Judgy's kid? My one friend, his mommy is a judge. A sitting judge in Ohio. And he's very fond of me. And thinks very highly of me. And his mommy's a real judge. You want to play that? You want to play Judgy Kid? You want to hear something that I think is funny? I actually know a judge's kid. And it's a guy. And he's very fond of me. And guess what? Mommy says you can't do it. You want to play mean teenage kid stuff? I actually have a judge's kid that's fond of me, a sitting judge in Ohio, and you can't do this. He said, you know, them taking pictures of you guys naked, you get in a lot of trouble for that without your permission. It's called voyeurism. Stalking tapes, speaking on tapes. You automatically go to jail. Drugs. You took pictures of little kids going potties, kiddie porn. You were drugging me up for fake confessions. That's drugs, kidnapping, assault, attempt to murder. You had me beaten, raped, and it's verified by Altman family physicians that I had all the signs of being drugged, beaten, raped. I had bruises I couldn't explain, throwing up, heart racing, muscle pain, and then a severe headache and a severe swollen personal infection. And I kept telling him I don't know what's wrong with me. And here I'm being drugged, beaten, raped in my own home. When they found out what was happening, they're like, your ex-husband's a vile, sick animal. Letting those people do that to you. So how could that agent see them anything but vile, sick animals? Human trafficking me under drugs. What they did is consider sextortion as 12 to 15. Kiddie porn's life. Human trafficking me under drugs is life. They have several life sentences as somebody to get off their ass. And these people have confessed and done their crimes in front of people. These people have admitted they framed me. March 24, 22, they admitted they drugged me and told me to say it before from 18, from the first month on, to effeminate wipes above the toilet in January of 19, to a shower scene in the other room. March 1st to 3rd of 21, that they put clips together, made a porn. Then after that, while you're just driving and showering. Ha ha ha, she figured out what they did. May 12th, 22 at noon. May 26th, 22 at noon of the shower scene done on purpose to make you look weird. And they found a tape of them admitting a shower scene in the other room. My whole life it's been under surveillance for 5 years. From the drugs and told to say it from the beginning of the case to May 25th, 21, 6 p.m., 8/9/21, the apartment building forming second close to the fence, 1295 Fairlawn, edit the Oakland apartment, December 9, 21, 4 p.m., the guy at the Hunger Task Force on 9th Street, Stark County Hunger Task Force, white man bald with dark eyes distributing food, actually worked my case, to my client in Navarre, her next door neighbor, the White House, that everything was drugged and photoshopped and made up on me, to them framing me March 24, 22, even my neighbor heard it, 1/130, they sold a log and everybody heard it, to them making fun of FBI agent John, June 7th, 23, how they fooled him, November 18th, 22, Eric confessing that he photoshopped everything, made everything up on me, laughing in Walmart, they sold videos of that, ID'd as Eric, November 24th, 22, Dave, in the first of 23, admitted he hired Pete on his own. It was actually Alex in a beard, trying to think if they were, said that if they were a retired judge, that they could get away with crimes. They're not a retired judge. It's Alex. He's one of the human traffickers, a medium truck guy, direct gray truck guy, in a beard, impersonating a judge. Like my friend that his mommy's a judge, you get in a lot of trouble for that one too. Oh, they were impersonating feds. This is like our nation's disgrace of a legal system. And what these people are doing is a hate crime. It's a hate crime. Like I was in Walmart the other day, they said even some of the police that got fired over this, there's a drug and gang unit got disbanded 2 years ago up in Portage County. And now some of them are going to get sued from stealing. Said not to say a word to her, they already knew they made everything up on her. They admitted that in 18 and 19. Officer Mark, one tall white guy with white hair, over my case, told the lady I was framed by the drug cartel August 21st to 23 of 23. Outside Kohl's real loud so everybody could hear in the parking lot that I was framed by the drug cartel and that it was a medication error that made me sick before, and another lady was using my insurance, and none of this is funny. And even my ex-husband defended me. So who's Michelle? She's part of the drug cartel. Who is impersonating Pete? It's Alex. white-haired guy with his hair put on the side, meeting with truck guy. I told you, May, July of 19, I was getting stuff out of my trunk at the laundromat. He slams on the brakes. Hey, Alex. There she is. I look back. He's like, yeah, my girlfriend has a nice ass. I'm the only one standing there. There's no one around. He said, it's great having a girlfriend. You don't have to do anything for her. He's a serial rapist. Like they said, they hired a serial rapist. They hired human traffickers. The evil apostolic churches. They're cults. You know, I was watching TV yesterday, and this African-American lady was telling this guy off in the South and said, what are you trying to preserve? Where they sold people for money? They murdered people in front of people and people found it acceptable? Or they grabbed people's children, ripped them from their arms and sold them and they never seen them again? Where they took every bit of humanity away from people? And what makes us human? Is that what you're trying to preserve? I looked up and I almost started crying. That's what people did to me. They took my humanity away. Thought it was funny. The drug cartel was raping me. That they crushed my head. That they tortured me. They saw videos of it taping children. They took my humanity away. And what makes me human? And you guys involved yourself in a hate crime of pure Satanism. Turn the bastards in. Michelle is not a judge's daughter. She's a fucking prostitute. Told you, John knows her, Melissa knows her, John's kids knows her as Auntie Joe. Dixie knows her, that means Josh should know her. And Faith Family Church knows who she is. And wait till 3,000 people find out she's nothing but a fucking hooker. That she was lying. She would hold court of 10, 15 girls how she was dating Dave. And she could have anybody drugged, being raped. And one of those young girls, like, will those guys rape somebody for us? And they said, yeah, all we have to do is ask them. I want you to think about that. She's that dangerous. And she's no judge's kid. She's nothing but a fucking hooker, and her brother are scammy people, him dressed up as a Santa Claus. Now, I want you to think about that. And they're selling people. And the other guy is not a doctor from Altman Hospital selling information. December 30th, 23, I am in Altman Hospital with a client. December 30th, 23. I'm in the emergency room at Altman Hospital with a client. Outside my room, nurses are talking. We were all told no one's allowed to talk to these people. My God, they were saying they were a doctor from Altman Hospital selling people's information. The hospital could get sued. He could get shut down. Doctor talking to the police or fed without signed consent from you is a 10-year sentence and a $250,000 fine. HIPAA violations, right to privacy. Okay? And if you impersonate a doctor, it's 1 to 10. None of your doctors could ever testify against you. Okay? And they even admit it was a guy impersonating a doctor. Okay? And no one's to back those doctors from before. They were all lying. My God, they even said she had brain tumors and there was nothing wrong with her. They were all just ripping off her insurance. And they were all lying on her. Some of the cops walked by and said all those doctors were lying on her before. Said yes. They're medication errors, and they were all just ripping off her insurance. None of this is funny. They admit it inside Altman Hospital. My phone's bugged. And the hospital has a camera. Okay. I'm going to upload this.